Shemai, some top tips and advice for beginner ukulele players today. In fact, it could even be helpful for people who've been playing ukulele quite a while. So we are back in school and basically for the last week I've been teaching beginner ukuleles. We did have one normal Ukuleleans club session, but apart from that it's all been absolute brand new players. So while everything is fresh in my mind and I've been giving out quite a few hints and tips this week, I thought I could share some with you guys. Now I've been a musician, a teacher, a performer for over 40 years. I've got a music degree, but some of these hints and tips I'm going to mention today, in fact, I could have done with knowing when I first started playing the ukulele as well. Before I give you any more advice, the first thing you've got to do is make sure you tune your ukulele. If you don't, everything else is pointless. If you don't know how to tune a uke, go and check out, I've made several videos on it. Get yourself something similar to this, which is a clip-on tuner. You pop it on, but you really ought to be tuning your ukulele every time you play it. Tip number 1, keep it simple. I know it's very tempting when you start to learn playing a new instrument that in fact you want to go and play your favourite song, all right? You can't learn any musical instrument doing it that way. You've got to learn the basics, all right? So pick a couple of chords, go and find some beginner lessons, but keep it simple. Tip number 2, never worry about other people. Now, I wish I'd known that when I started playing ukulele. When I first started playing musical instruments, I was a small child and it never even entered my mind that other people would care. When I first started playing ukulele, I did take a few comments quite personally, like, ooh, I thought you'd be better than that, and ooh, I thought you could sing, all right. Luckily, I didn't take them personally, as I wouldn't be sitting here today. But the main thing is you're playing a musical instrument, in this case, the ukulele, for you. Do not worry about what other people think. Tip number 3, something I was aware of. Do not go putting yourself under too much pressure. It's really easy to do. I learnt this one when I was actually studying many years ago at music college. I'd go into various lessons and the teacher would say, why are there holes in the music? And it would normally be because I'd got frustrated and smacked it with a bow or something, okay? There will be times when you're playing and you get frustrated. Don't worry, put the ukulele down, walk away, all right? Don't go putting yourself under too much pressure, especially as a beginner. Now, the next few hints and tips, they were probably the most important for me because I wish I'd really known these when I first started playing ukulele. But basically, tip number 4 is about strumming. Some people, me being one of those, I actually found strumming harder than the chords. Let me explain. When I first started playing ukulele, grab one, you know, you so concentrating on getting those chord shapes and you just assume that your hand going up and down over here making a noise is strumming. And I remember I'd been playing a little while and the young lady, Madison, who actually helped me form the Ukuleleans in school, she was the girl who was in my reg class, very good ukulele player. And I remember her coming into school one morning going, right, okay, so you're getting better, but have you really sussed strumming? And I was like, well, yes, you know, I can strum. And she said, no, can you really strum? And again, I went, well, yes, I'm making a noise. And she was the one who sort of started to make me think about not the noise, but the sound I was producing, the technique, and whether or not it was fit for purpose. And it was at that moment I actually really started to think about my right hand technique, my strumming, okay? And then it dawned on me that in fact, I wasn't actually that good at strumming, all right? Everybody assumes the strumming bit's the easy bit and the chords are the hard bit. Having seen many beginners this week, it's quite interesting actually. Some, now bear in mind I'm working in a school, so I'm teaching kids, but some kids literally have never picked up an instrument, guitar or ukulele, and they can just naturally strum. In other words, touch the strings, make a nice sound. Others really struggle, all right, even just in the motion of moving their hands up and down. I can even think of some adults that I know who've been playing for quite a while and they've never really got to grips with strumming. So if you're a beginner, please think as much about your strumming as you do about your left hand chords. All right, go and do practices. I've made some videos about strumming, all right, but it's just something to be aware of. Some people, and I was one of those, strumming was actually harder, all right? I'm a string player, but I've never played an instrument that either had strumming or chords in it before. So, as I said, some of these things I really wish I'd known when I first started playing. So tip number 5, again, for me, certainly it was a really important one, chord changes. When I first started playing, like everybody, you know, you're learning your C chords, you're learning your F chords, and so on. And then I came across a brilliant hint tip. I cannot remember who it was I watched on YouTube, but this is one I very often use in school now. Strumming and chord changing, trying not to stop your strumming. Let me give you an example. So I've got 4 C chords, 4 F chords, but I've got to think about changing to F. Watch what I do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, played like that, it sounds a little bit harsh. What I was doing was the last out of every 4 strums, I was actually releasing my fingers ready to play the next chord, because one of the most important things is keeping the time. I'll talk about that in the next hint, all right? But keeping time and keeping going, I remember I used to, don't worry about a thing. I remember being like this, because every little thing, and breaking the song because I've got to move chords. It's better to sort of lift your fingers up and cheat a bit with your chord change rather than stopping the flow of the strumming. Tip number 6, keep a ukulele handy. My ukulele room, I've got ukes hanging on the wall, on racks, I've got bass guitars out. They're not just there for show, it just means I'm far more likely to pick one up and play it if it's out than having to go and find the case and get it out. I've always encouraged cello and double bass pupils to do the same. Keep your instruments out of the case, you are much more likely to practice them. I've always done the same with my ukes. In fact, when I first started playing, I did have several ukes around the house just to be able to pick one up and play it much easier. And we're back to the strumming as well, all right? Tip number 7, strumming patterns are not the most important thing, all right? Especially with the Ukuleleans channel, I'm forever having questions. What's the strumming pattern? Can't play this because I don't know the strumming pattern. Technically, you don't need to use any strumming patterns. You can play whatever you like, but the main thing is feeling the beat. All right, I've done a video about strumming patterns, the fact that you can play any song with one strumming pattern. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So my hand is going up and down, irrelevant. It all depends when my finger hits the strings. Now, I was showing a few of the pupils this in school this week, all right? So when you're strumming patterns are not important. It's more to do with feeling the beat and keeping going. Don't worry about down, down, up, down, up, or down, down, up, down, down, up. The main thing is that throughout all of those, your actual right hand is going up and down anyway, and it's just when it actually touches the string. Tip number 8, discovering play-along videos. Again, I wish I'd known about these when I first started playing. Now, yes, I've got a play-along channel, but I wasn't the first to have it. I learnt from others, and I still remember the night sitting in front of the computer discovering Dr. Jill Reese's Surfing USA video. That was it. My mind was blown. That's how I really learnt how to play ukulele, was using play-along videos. And then, of course, I discovered Chris Russell. I then learnt how to how to make play-along videos, the actual videos. And there are quite a large group of us. We're all teachers who make them, okay? But discovering play-along videos as a beginner literally changed the way I played and taught the ukulele. Yet another tip. Tip number 9. Again, I wish I'd known how to slow a YouTube video down. This is particularly helpful if you're using a play-along video, but it can be used for any video that you're watching, whether it's a lesson or a tutorial. I've done a video on it, all right? But basically, you're clicking the settings below, and you can then choose the playback speed. It doesn't alter the pitch, so you can practice along to it. It just makes it a lot easier. And it doesn't matter what you're playing, play it slowly if you can, and then speed up. That's what helps muscle memory when you're playing with your left hand, and can often mean that you're not rushing a strum, okay? So learn how to slow videos down. It does help. And tip number 10, join a group. Now, I know the last year or so has made it particularly difficult, although there has been an amazing amount of online ukulele activities. I know I've been involved in various Zoom, weekly meetings and online virtual festivals and things, okay? But particularly once we can get back, all right, join a group, because as an adult especially, it builds confidence. It makes it more fun, and there's this huge learning, the educational bit of it. In school, it's the one thing I always insist on. Come to club, come to group. Even if you're quite happy sitting at home learning the ukulele by yourself, making music with others really does make it all worthwhile, I promise. If you're not sure, if you have a local group, I'm guessing places like Facebook is probably going to be your first port of call. Ask around. You may never know there was a group literally down the road until you have an interest in it. I know in our local area, there are stacks of ukulele groups, okay? So find a group, join in, have some fun, and make new friends. So there we go, that's 10 tips for you, and hopefully whether you're a beginner ukulele player or even you've been playing a while, some of those may help. I'm going to give you 2 more bits of advice though. First of all, look for good sources for your chords and your song charts. All right, there are loads of brilliant ones on the internet. That's one of the things that I love about ukulele, is the fact that so many people are willing to share their time, their resources, their knowledge, their expertise with us all for free, all right? Just off the top of my head, Ukutabs, brilliant. Jim's Songbook, Ukulele Hunt, Fingerstyle Rules, that's a brilliant German site. Ukability, There are loads of them, all right? I'll try if I can either put things going across as I'm doing this or at least put some links, okay? Search on Google, do a search for ukulele PDFs. That's a good one because lots of clubs actually upload their ukulele books, their songbooks, and even on Pinterest, all right? So there's loads and loads of fantastic resources on the internet, all right? You may have to go looking a little bit, but you will find what you're looking for. One little thing I should add, mind, they're not all 100% accurate. I only know this really from doing play-alongs because I'll sit down with the original song, go to make the video, have all the chords and everything, and discover at that point the chord chart isn't quite right, all right? So always just, if you think something sounds wrong, we'll go and double check it with a different source as well. And the last bit of advice I'm going to give you today is a quote. I don't even know where I know this from. I've known it for a very, very long time though. And it's something I try and follow myself. I try and get my students in school to follow it as well. Don't practice until you can get it right. Practice it until you can't get it wrong. Profound, I know. There we go. If you've got any comments or questions, please feel free, leave it below. Give us a like if you've enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos. Thank you for watching.